This is Lola. Like many therapy dogs, she brings comfort to the care homes she visits. She's also my pet, loves to play, and oh, thank you, will do a trick for a few tasty treats. If you like animals yourself, you're not alone. More than half of UK households have pets, and pets are often considered an important part of the family. In fact, research has started to show that interacting with animals can have a range of positive effects, from reducing stress to increasing sociability, and animals are also used in therapy. Unfortunately, not all interactions with animals are this positive. The dark side of human-animal interaction, animal cruelty, is less well understood. Research started in the 1960s, when the FBI found a link between animal cruelty and being a serial killer. Since then, animal cruelty has been linked to domestic abuse and a host of psychological issues such as low empathy, trauma, and even being a psychopath. This paints a dark picture of the consequences of animal cruelty, not only for the individual and the animal involved, but for society at large, as a red flag for continuing cycles of violence. So what can we do? Well, they often say prevention is the best medicine, but even less is known about childhood animal cruelty and what intervention, if any, could stop the cycle. In fact, even today, research on childhood animal cruelty is often done with adults who are asked to recollect events from their childhood. But if we want to develop interventions for children, we must be able to take their perspective, and this is what my research focuses on. I'm working closely with the Scottish SPCA to evaluate the first intervention program of its kind in the UK, Animal Guardians. Animal Guardians is an educational intervention program designed to help children nurture empathy and compassion for animals, especially where those children have harmed animals or are at risk of doing so. For my first study, I spoke to 10 of these referred children to understand a bit more about the context of their animal harm. Some of my findings you might expect. Unfortunately, many of these children were from violent homes, broken families, and had trouble regulating their emotions and behavior. But some of my results were more surprising. These children often liked animals and said they hadn't intended to harm them. Instead, this happened when they lashed out, when they did lose control of their emotions, if they were copying a sibling, or as punishment because they didn't know of any other way to change behavior. Perhaps even more surprising, many of these children were attached to the pets that they were harming, sometimes even more than members of their own family. So what was happening? One of the theories of aggression is that when people interpret a scene, they can interpret it negatively and intentions as harmful, and this leads to aggressive behavior. To understand if this was happening with the children, we showed them ambiguous pictures like the one that you see here. What's going to happen when these two boys and their dogs meet in the park? Are they about to play, or is this the start of an aggressive altercation? Well, many of the children I interviewed interpreted ambiguous scenes like this negatively and saw harmful intentions. Interestingly, though, animals were seen as less harmful and often as sources of comfort. This highlights how carefully we must be when we intervene with these children and not simply label them as cruel. Also, instead of seeing animals as part of the problem, perhaps in some cases animals are part of the solution, and they can be the key to showing these children that not all interactions need to be harmful. My research on this continues, and I'm interested in understanding how the children referred to the Animal Guardians program compared to non-referred children. I'm especially interested in how their attachment to their pets might affect their empathy, their ability to regulate their emotions, their context, and their family. Hopefully, by continuing this research and working closely with the Scottish SPCA, we can develop an effective intervention and stop the cycle of harm, and instead introduce these children to the cycle of harmony most of us experience when we interact with animals.